probably the greatest joy I think we have on the show is watching other people, watching their bits. Are almost more joyous for us than our own. Almost more joyous for us.
Hi, everybody. I want to introduce the cast of Girls5Eva. First up, we have Paula Pell, Busy Phillips, right behind her, Sara Bareilles, yeah, and Renée Elise Goldsberry. And please welcome back Meredith Scardino.
This is so cute.
This is so, oh my God.
I love this.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for being here. We're so thrilled.
I love your shirt so much.
Wait, what shirt?
BPE. Got a BPE
I didn't
shirt.
know. Right here, right in the front, BPE.
I'm feeling a little
Cease
left
and
out,
desist,
but
right?
it's okay. I don't have BPE, but that's fine.
Yes, you do.
You could.
Big BPE is a state of mind.
Thank you.
right.
Thank
yeah,
you.
and anyone can have BPE, whether or not
You
they have a
heard it.
P or a B or a BP.
Technically, you have a
Technically,
P.
yeah.
It's
Just a different kind of P.
Yeah. I'm such a huge fan of this show. Ever since season 1, I've seen each season multiple times at this point. Not to brag, but for a lot of us who were fans of the show, season 2 ended, and we were very concerned that we weren't going to get more. I imagine you two were
Same.
also, yes.
As
so
were we.
I was very excited when I heard Netflix picked it up. Can you talk about what it was like when you heard that news?
It was heavenly. It was, and we really didn't have a long period of just complete despair. There was like some despair for sure and uncertainty, but it had that deep underpinning. You can speak more of like of hope of like Netflix is probably going to take this and we're going to have a second chapter here, which everything in this it's like art imitating life of second chances. Our characters have second chances, and now we're getting a second chance to do it. So it's amazing. We're so grateful.
Congratulations.
No, and I would just add that Netflix has been really supportive of the show from the start. Like, and one of our executives over there who was very instrumental in getting the show acquired by them was somebody that we worked with on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And oddly enough, I had pitched the show to another executive over there, Tracy Bacosta, when she was at NBC, and she wanted to buy it. And so it was just like we had some like people that loved the show from the second it aired in season 1 or when we pitched it. And so when it was like potentially available, they were very interested. And so that felt wonderful.
Yeah, it's like the best kind of success story.
It's nice to be wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
I like being wanted.
Meredith, 3 seasons in, I've gotten the chance to watch you guys a couple times today, just interacting. There's an event earlier, and then earlier tonight,
Oh no!
No, I mean just like the excitement that you all have around each other, the way that you interact, literally singing and harmonizing just out of nowhere. I'm
It's
sort of
really
curious.
annoying.
We're always on a high school trip.
Yeah,
It is as like old lady glamour over here who's been on 4 billion television shows. It is the thing that is like so exhausting where it's like, but we really love each other. And I will just fully say that if I've ever said it before, it's not like this. You know what I mean? It is like, this is like the realest, most intense friendship and love that I've ever had with the people that I make a show
They
with.
had a sleepover at your house, Paula, right? Like you
Yeah, we had a slumber party.
Slumber party.
Upstate New York in Hudson Valley.
I'm kidding. I was invited.
She was there.
Well, Meredith, I'm curious, like, as you're crafting, a season and thinking about how these characters are interacting, like, do you use their own kind of characteristics, the way they interact with each other? Does that inform how you write at this point, knowing?
I mean, we sort of glean little. I mean, they have a joke that I have weekly meetings with their therapists because sometimes like things that feel true to their
Meredith
own lives.
How did you know?
Yeah, Meredith writes like I don't even know what's happening. You're channeling
I'm a
some
witch.
other. You're a witch, a little
witch.
bit. Yeah.
No, they're a joy to write for. I mean, it's bananas. They're just all so talented, and it's just fun. Like we do sort of pull different things in from life. Like this season, on the road, Paula's character Gloria is like picking up every animal that gets hit by the van or whatever and resuscitating
Some
it
are
back to
dead.
life. And you know, I feel like that's very true. You know, she has basically an elder animal sanctuary, and is such an animal lover. And so like we do kind of put little parts of them into their characters, and also just like, you know, that when they're all four together on screen, it's kind of going to be like bursting off the screen. Like they just have such great chemistry, and it's just really fun to watch them.
Renee, I read a quote that you talked about how, you know, as a female actor, you're often playing characters in support of other people. But in this case, you're supporting other women, but you're also, I feel like, each one of these characters is so just completely fully developed in their own people, you know, kind of separately as part of a group. I'm kind of curious, like, if you could tell me a little bit about what makes that so wonderful to be with this group of women and support each other on screen.
There's so much that's wonderful about it. Yeah, I think it's something that people say about women, that somehow or another there's always a competitiveness, and it's like this lie that there's only so much, as opposed to the fact that there's just abundance. And in my career, I've always tried to debunk that. Anytime anyone ever put me in a situation where I was going to compete with somebody, I feel like there's always been this thing between me and any other woman that was like, it's not me against you, it's us against them. and I feel that way here. I felt that way I feel that way all the time. It's the only sanity that kind of exists for us. And what I love about this show is that it proves this so amazingly, because there are really 4 leads on this show. And it's a 20, how many minutes are in each episode?
About 24.
24 minutes in a show, and somehow or another, I don't think any of us are watching it feeling like, how come she gets to, and why is she, and she's hanging. That just does not happen on other shows. It feels, probably the greatest joy I think we have on the show is watching other people, watching their bits. Are almost more joyous for us than our own. Almost more joyous for us.
Wait, I will say, witnessing Renee watch, what do you have, a master's in what?
Jazz.
In master's in jazz
vocal jazz.
And
ladies gentlemen.
watching her watch
true.
Busy scat for
Oh my God!
Guess what, guys?
like an hour.
I wish
2
you
years at Loyola Marymount University, and honestly, second semester sophomore year didn't really go.
It is the greatest joy. I mean, 3 seasons in, the greatest joy I have. And most of it didn't even make the show. But literally,
It was so long. It was
her
impossible.
scatting,
I wish we could
her
just put out an
scatting just
hour
brought
of
me
it.
so much joy. So I think that's what we love. And it's easy for me to say because my character gets to have all this really bad behavior. Because my character always kind of gets to be in the middle or wear the craziest outfit or sing after the song is over. Just keep licking and riffing and singing higher. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there have definitely been times in my life where there was 3 of us, and I was like, how am I gonna get in the middle of these 3 girls? And I don't have to do that here because my character is obnoxious. So it just frees me up to love them so much.
But there's also an ease. For me, at least, I feel like there's an ease and a trust in the writing, and a knowledge, like, deeply that because Meredith and the writing team are so great at the story that they're servicing, that I don't ever even think about, is this going to pay off? Is there a thing? How is this going to work for my character? Because I like inherently have this trust in the auspices and the team that is telling the story, which is like, that's the freedom too, because I have been in situations before where you feel like, well, I better come to set with 10 extra jokes prepped because I also know that the dude is gonna try to steal my fucking punchline, so I better have another one at the ready because that guy's gonna fucking take it. And I won't name names, except I will in my next book. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing. But you know what I mean? That I think is part of it as well.
Yeah. That's true. Sarah, I feel like you're often playing the most grounded of this crew, this team of cartoon characters.
As in life.
Yeah. I mean, does that come naturally to you in a way? I mean, is it hard to kind of maintain a composure, or like, do you want
I wish
to
you
like...
slowly fell off your chair. You're just like,
Oh gosh. You know, I think what's been so fun, I have to say, having a career as a solo artist for so much of my life, this has been such a tremendous joy to feel like a part of a team. And it's something that I got a taste of when I first started working in the theater, and especially when I went on stage in Waitress was what I went on stage with, and just getting for the first time to really feel like you're just a part of this whole ensemble. It's even different than playing with a band, which I have played with incredible bands over my career. But this job in particular is just, like you were saying, it just is such a beautiful ensemble piece. And I think that we all get to be so shiny in our own ways. And one of the ways I feel most realized in this character is in her sort of taking in. I get to be a little bit of the bridge to the audience of like taking in the insanity and the delicious, antics of these women who we all are just a little bit on the fringe. And I'm just maybe one micro step like planted in reality, but less and less so as we go further and further into the show. Yeah, so and it's fun. Like as you do, you sort of like start drinking the Kool-Aid, and I think it's been so lovely, especially in this season, as my character is pregnant this season, and also it doesn't become like the centerpiece. She gets to stay really vibrant and attached to her dreams. And I love seeing these women go for it and take big swings and sort of have ridiculous dreams, realizing that the dreaming is not the ridiculous part. All the rest of the shit is ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like the dreaming big is not the ridiculous piece. And so I really love that role in this little machine here.
And it's just so fun to watch her pretend to learn how to write a song. There's just nothing more joyful than her have to try to, just like such great acting. It's so wonderful. It's like such a great thing.
Busy. Something I really loved about your character this season is the kind of the arc about choosing your own wardrobe, which your character's already wearing some of the most insane looks in the world, and then when she's left her own devices, then goes crazier. I was curious, I know of you, I feel like we're contemporaries. I was a teenager watching you on TV, and I'm curious if that kind of hit home a little bit as someone who was performing and on television at that time, and kind of looking back on it as like in a cartoonish, fun, light, levity way.
Well, I think that there are so many.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I'm so sorry.
Many things. There are so many things. First of all, like I think that any person probably, but I can speak to my experience as a woman of my age, which is that like I think that a lot of women hit a point in their lives, whether they're like it's in their mid 30s, late 30s, 40s, where they sort of take stock of all of the things that have been added up and have become the sum of what they are. And I think especially culturally, like Gen X women have a really unique perspective and experience in terms of coming of age in the 90s, where we're dealing with Monica Lewinsky in the public eye, and we're being sent messages about, Lorena Bobbitt and, what the Long Island Lolita, right? Like she was 15 years old, like she's a child. and then moving into this the messages that pop culture was sending us, right? And so like actually the wardrobe part of it is super interesting to me, and I think sort of metaphorically like a bigger thing, obviously, which is like you reach a point, I think, as a woman where you take stock and you're like, but wait, what do I like? And like, who am I? And do I like watching football on Sundays and making these fucking dips? Or have I just been doing this because of a guy? And now it's just a part of myself that I have just conditioned my brain to think that I fucking like this. I do not like this. Anyway, so that's that part of it. And I think, and then the secondary part of it is like, yes, I think that I actually do have a very unique experience of having, you know, been sitting in a casting office at age 20 and being told that if I am not on the cover, or if I don't get into the pages of Maxim magazine, or I don't do Stuff magazine, or one of the things, if I don't basically put on my fucking underwear and get myself in a magazine, and this is a quote, have no shot of having a film career. Okay, so what do you do with that at age 20? I was like, I guess I gotta do fucking Stuff magazine or Maxim magazine, crawl around on a floor of, you know, Siren Studios for half a day in my underwear. And that's brutal. You know, it's brutal that like Anne Hathaway had to sit across from Matt Lauer and discuss a violation of her privacy as if that's like a normal thing we should be asking. It's fucking insane that Hannah Waddington has to be asked to show her leg. Like, I'm wearing no clothes right now, but that is because that is my choice. But I do think that how Meredith is able to like take the situations from the 90s and how what we were all sort of subjected to and conditioned by, and shine a light on it while making us laugh and not feel ever that we're preaching about the sins of the past, because the fact is we all fucking know at this point what it was, and we're still fighting it, you know, daily. So it is a release to laugh at it, you know? Yeah. Because I laugh so hard at my cover of Maxim UK. Because I don't know if you know, my film career went fucking great.
White Chicks is having a moment.
Let me tell you something about White Chicks.
Oh my God. All right, Paula.
Yes.
I didn't even really write down a question as much as a comment, because I feel like I literally wrote down, you're playing one of the funniest queer characters I've seen on modern TV.
Oh.
I truly like.
Thank you.
Especially this season, it is truly like knocking it out of the park.
Oh my God, I get so much joy that I am 60 years old. And I'm sorry, Meredith, I know I'm probably not supposed to tell people I'm 60 years old. I'm a little older than everyone else.
I've told you never
I'm
to
using
tell.
a
No,
lot.
no, what are you
I'm
talking
using
about?
a lot
You're
of
allowed to-
night
What do you mean?
creams. I love that I am the one that is the oldest one in the group, and I'm the one getting all the action this season. And these foxes, this assassin's row of foxes, is like walking through the season, and I'm like always either putting my clothes on or taking them off, and drinking a lot of. There's a scene. Did you guys see the scene with me drinking the Gatorade? Oh, well, I'm topless in one of the scenes. And I'm just doing this she's waiting to talk to me by the vending machine at the hotel, and I'm drinking a Gatorade post one of the women that I'm trying to hook up with, because I have a spreadsheet of the 178 types of women that I'm going to score before I go back to my ex-wife. And I'm drinking a Gatorade and just going like this, completely full titty out. So I'm thrilled to play
it's a
this.
commitment,
I'm
and, yeah,
thrilled to
good.
play a gray-haired, like, you know, older queer lady that's actually getting it.
Yeah. Earlier today, Renee, you were literally just quoting the show, quoting other people's lines mostly. Are there ever lines that are just like too much to handle? Like even just like you delivering like you have trouble getting it out, or like
One of
Renee
the
says
first-
something and you're like, what the hell?
Is that a question to all of us?
Yes, everybody.
Oh,
Jump in there.
One is jumping to my brain because it was the first scene that the four of us shot together. This is in the pilot episode. And
I know what it is.
I could not, Busy's line was, Ashley's a bench now, Dawn.
Because there's a bench with Ashley after she died,
Ashley,
like a
who's
little
our-
plaque. And we're
our
talking
member
about
who
Ashley. and
swam
she goes,
off an
"Ashley's
infinity
a
pool."
bench now.
And died, and now we have a dedicated bench. And Busy so sincerely, a little bit tipsy in the scene, I mean, Summer, a little bit tipsy in the scene, is telling me, well, we can't ask Ashley. Ashley's a bench now, Dawn. And I was laughing so fucking hard, but also getting this little glimpse of what our life was gonna be like. It was the fucking best. It was so amazing, and it's only gotten better and richer and more just exciting and rich and delicious since then. It's just been amazing.
It's amazing. Sometimes it's the lines because they're genius, and people actually give me credit. A friend of mine that I grew up with said, I heard you in an interview and you described your mouth as a T-shirt gun of wisdom. He said, and he's known me since he was a child. He's like, you're really smart. Because he just thought I was so savvy to say that. I just didn't have the heart to tell him that I didn't write it. But
I forgot about that.
Oh my
Such a
God!
good line.
But what I sometimes it's not the lines. I remember in this season I had to walk in this red outfit where the pants were also boots. You probably didn't get to see that. And I had to walk in the first episode and announce to the group that I had saved the day because I had booked Radio City Music Hall on Thanksgiving morning and spent all of our money. Like I couldn't get it out because it was just the most ridiculously stupid thing.
And your character was so
proud of it. So
she was
proud.
like, I fixed it. And then they were like,
welcome.
isn't that Thanksgiving morning? And I'm like, well, that must have been why it was available. You're welcome. And then I walk out, and then there's like these automatic doors in the hotel, and I say, open, and then they open and close. It's ridiculous. And on top of the brilliance of the humor, there's a very Girls5Eva thing that always happens to us, that there's like this life imitating art. So we're trying to shoot this episode in a hotel that's actually functioning.
The lobby.
It wouldn't
shut the lobby down.
Open, and there are
families
people.
coming in.
The whole week there'd be a family like from
They were
Wisconsin
so
walking in
pissed
going.
off at us.
Just
And I was
watching
literally
us.
like, right before I shot, I like said to a whole family that came out in their bathing suit, because it's like a Marriott divorced dad sweetlets kind of thing. I'm literally like, we'll be 1 second.
And then
I went
there
into
was
the
a
scene, and
constant.
And the phone kept ringing. Yeah, the phone kept ringing.
Yeah, the hotel
front
lobby
desk.
phones were not turned off. Yeah.
The hardest I laughed this year, line-wise, was a line of Renee's at this diner restaurant booth, and she says, we're saying why is he eating here? He's like a Harry Styles character in the show this season, and why is he eating at this Macaroni Rascals? And it's like because it makes him feel safe. It makes him feel,
It's comfortable. It's
in your
it's
line. Do you remember it? Or,
you said.
You said, "Oh, I know the feeling. Whatever town we're in, I go to the local church and I sing with the choir and I just destroy them.
I murder them. I just destroy them.
I just destroy them, and I just could not. I could not stop laughing. I could not stop laughing at that every time you said it.
It is such a gift
Well,
to
so-
have
yeah.
these words in our mouth and have these situations and to do it with these people in these costumes, and even in the absurd things that happen to our actual lives at the moment. It feels. It really does feel like a gift.
Since you're talking about lines, I do want to just say our biggest thrill is to be in a show where people laugh out loud when they're watching it. Yeah. And I feel like there's really a lack of that now. And there's brilliant shows that are being called comedies, but they aren't as much of a hard comedy. Yeah. And I love them, and they're amazing, and they have incredible stories and incredible characters and heart-wrenching and incredible. But I came from SNL, and I am used to hearing laughs. I'm used to hearing people laugh. but also like even at SNL, we would love to have some little moment that was very human or very, I always used to write losers and like funny, weird losers. And I love to have that vulnerability. But Meredith and her writing staff, like they really know how to write things that I have people in the street all the time now saying, I heard my relative in the other room scream laughing at something, pounding on the table. That's what I wish there was more of on television right now.
Well, I agree. And again, what an incredible show. Congratulations on your 3rd season. And thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh.
Yeah.